Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Off-Label Careers podcast, where we explore different paths to arriving at Big Pharma. And joining us today for our first episode, we have a very special guest
Nanda.
who is an IT Business Analyst at a top 5 global pharmaceutical company. So, Hiteshwari, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a computer science major at the University of Alberta, and I have a minor in psychology. And yeah, this is my first internship as an IT business analyst intern. And yeah, so I moved from Alberta to Toronto for this opportunity.
Wow, quite
Yeah,
the story you got. But I
yeah.
remember us talking before we were filming this. You didn't always do computer science, did you?
No, I didn't. I applied to biological sciences originally. It was just because in high school I did not have any guidance nor direction. I needed to do a university degree. I knew that, but I didn't know in what. And I just felt like I took the path that everybody else was taking, which was biological sciences. Everybody wanted to be a pre-med or like pre-dental, or they wanted to go into pharmacy. So then I was like, if everybody's doing it, like maybe I should do it too. I did enjoy the science aspect in high school. So I was like, we'll go and we'll test it out and we'll see. The application process for university was very overwhelming. Now that I think back, it wasn't that hard, but it genuinely was really overwhelming. So I did that. I applied and fortunately got in. Thank you very much. And then so my first year, I struggled a lot, just because in my first semester I also had to take some high school courses in night school, along with the full course load of university. I did really bad on my first university midterm. Very humbling experience. And then also at this time, I got like I talked to a lot of people, and so I got knowledge that if you want to do pre med, you have to obviously have the extracurriculars. I started volunteering at a hospital. I started it as a greeter, and then I moved to the endoscopy side clinic where it was just paperwork, getting patients situated before their procedure, and then I moved back into a greeter, and so I did that for a little while. It was honestly a really good experience initially. Like I think it was good, but then I feel like as you get into it, you realize that there are so many flaws with said system. So like back in like where I'm from, like in Alberta, I I realized that they have like a cart system for wheelchairs. So people come into the hospital they not knowing that they would need $1 for a wheelchair. And so I've seen so many people struggle and like genuinely like get really upset that they would have to go through this entire process just to get like $1 change for a wheelchair. So then me personally, like I felt terrible looking at that, and so I started, carrying dollars with me and I would give them to people. They were nice enough to give them back, even though I wasn't expecting it at all, genuinely. And then after that, I did nursing ambassador for a little while. I visited patients. They didn't have families to come and visit them. So that was my job, like try to make them feel a little bit more at home, know that there's somebody there for them. That was also really heavy on the head for a while, just because I would always go home and I would always think about them and be like, what are they doing? Like, are they okay? Because I wasn't able to contribute as much. And then after that, that's when I decided to, transition into computer science, just because I wanted to make some sort of difference for these patients, but I just having that face to face was just very difficult for me.
Yeah, it must have been kind of frustrating seeing all the struggles around you, but finding it difficult to help everyone at once.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was only a volunteer. There's only so much I could have done. I was there with them for max 2 hours and then I'd have to go.
Was it scary, like thinking to take that jump into a completely different field?
It was kind of scary. I was very upset, like in the beginning, like very like mad that like the bio side, like the pre med side, honestly didn't work out because I was struggling. Like I'll be very blunt. Like I was putting in hours of work and not seeing the results. I had insane imposter syndrome just because I saw everybody around me, like they're doing research and plus volunteering plus like coaching teams, and they're doing all this stuff, and like I'm struggling to even get by in terms of like grades. Like I was like so like average, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, right? And then so I was just like, I needed to make some sort of change. Like I needed to see myself happy where I was. Like, like if I'm putting work into something, I needed to see the result. So initially, like I knew that I had to make a switch, but it did really like make me mad in a way, just because I don't like, I was always that person that I didn't like to waste time. Like time was something very valuable to me. So then, in second year when I decided to make the switch, like I was like, I don't know, like if I should do this, like I want to do something different. But I just thought that that was 2 years down the drain at that point. So then I was genuinely like very mad at myself for a while. But yeah, but I did make that switch. It was beneficial, obviously, in my role now at this company. But I realized it was all for the best. But I was really frustrated at the time. Yeah.
And what led you to applying to this internship? How did your last 2 years of CS go like?
My last 2 years of CS were honestly, initially, it was very difficult. I had no coding experience whatsoever. People have been coding since junior high, and I did not have that. I was learning everything from scratch. I was basically watching tutorials on the most like base level knowledge. So even when I transitioned, it was a very tough transition. But like I said, like I never really shied away from the hard work part. Like I was always willing to put in the hours. That wasn't really the issue for me. It's just that if I'm putting in the work, like I wanted to see something in return. So then, like I put in that, and like I actually did learn slowly but surely, and I eventually got there. And then when I started seeing that, like, back when I was like in biological sciences, and like I'd study and everything, it would be something that I would, like I'd get in the moment. Come time the exam, like I'd blank, like completely blank. But then when I switched into coding, just because it's more on the little like logical side, like so then when it came time for that, and I was studying for that, come time the exam, like I was actually able to recall the information. I think my brain just understood it better. So that transition in the beginning was very difficult, especially for the first like couple of months. Like I was really frustrated that like everybody's so much more advanced, but I eventually got there. And then once I started seeing the results coming back to me, I was very, very happy.
Amazing. Just show me your mic. Is it green? Just turn it. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Great. Yeah, you must have felt a lot more fulfilled at the time, right?
Yeah, it genuinely was. And then it came time for internship applications, and then it was just the same thing all over again.
So the passion for CS, was it just in school or did you try to take it outside of school?
I did take it outside of school, because as like learning to code is basically not just like I did watch a lot of tutorials, but I also built some projects. Like
Mm.
for example, like I did an exoplanet detector project that's specifically AI. It's just like I used some NASA Kepler telescope data. I analyzed it. We cleaned it. We coded a pipeline, and we did some. We basically I learned a lot of from machine learning on that aspect. And then I also did, I took a software engineering course, I was honestly very privileged to get that, because not a lot of computer science kids like are able to get into that course. But I was very privileged to get that course. I built an app there. It was a social media app basically. It was kind of like Instagram, but instead of just like post, you like post your mood. We made like really cute emojis, like hand drew them. Yeah, it was really good. I did that in a team. I had a really good project manager per se, which was my TA, and then the client was sort of like the prof, which like aligns with this today. So like I did ML, I did software
ML is
engineering,
machine
machine
learning.
learning, yeah, and then software engineering, and then I did data science, which was through the Ripen Level Up program.
The Ripen
Ripen,
Level Up program?
yeah, it's a very good organization. They have a bunch of different programs, but I specifically did Level Up. Um, I heard about it through a friend. They sent me the application link, and it's just they ask you about your interests, your eligibility, what university you go to. They ask you how you're going to be able to stay up to date with deliverables. It's just a 250 word. Are you like basically like how are you going to make sure that you get the work done? What actions are you going to take?
Is it competitive or what would
It
you
is a
say?
little bit competitive, but but eventually, like it took me around I think 3 applications to actually get into the portal.
Hmm.
And then but they're very good about it. They'll keep like emailing you, updating you, like, oh, you can apply for this cohort, and they're every 2 to 3 months, so you can do that. And then once you get into the portal, you can apply for different projects.
Interesting. And what did you do in the Ripen Level Up?
Yeah, for that, I was a data science student for a perimenopause diagnostic app in a startup. It was
Healthcare.
healthcare. Yeah. So it was very good. The CEO thought that, like, women were being misdiagnosed. So she's like, we want to be able to build something that's easily accessible for them, whether like, technologically, where they're able to, properly diagnose themselves, so then they know what problems to tackle and how. And I thought that that was very good. Like, again, like, I'm helping people, I'm helping patients, like, but I'm not like having that face to face, which again was really hard for me. But yeah, so I was able to do that. We gathered a lot of data. I think there were about 12 code books. Code books are basically just like books with like copious amounts of data, like, and they were all like around 800 to 1,000 pages each.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That is 3 textbooks worth at least.
yeah. So there was 12 of those. Huge spreadsheet, but worth it. Ended up working out okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after, what would you end up doing?
After that is when I that's when I actually like started like fully like applying to internships. Like, I fixed up my resume. I added that project and everything. And this is when, like, so this was like a really stressful period because everybody was getting internships, and I was like, why not me? Like, what are these people doing that is so different from what I'm doing? So, I was applying and applying and applying, and I was genuinely getting nothing. It was very, very demotivating. I was so frustrated all the time. And, like, you hear people, like, even my own friends, like, they'd come to me, they say, like, I'd got an internship. I was genuinely very happy for them, like, truly, like, from the bottom of my heart. But then every day, like, I'd go home and I'd just be like, why not me? Like, I'm putting in work. Like, it's not like I'm not, right? Everybody is, but everybody's seeing their success, and like, why am I not, right? So I had that entire like phase where I was doing schoolwork. I was trying to upgrade my technological skills, whether that be learning new coding languages or building new projects. But that was also very hard to do because I was also in school. And I was trying to juggle like a billion different things at once. Yeah, so that was a very tough period. And I think a year later, took a year's worth of applications to finally land this pharma company. And yeah, now here I am. And mind you, like, I was rejected by this company twice. Yeah,
Third time's a charm.
third time's a charm.
So what was
Yeah.
the application process like for this pharma company?
The application process for this one, it was very late at night. I'm a chronic stressor. Like, nobody understands stress the way that I do. So it was very late at night, and I was just like sitting there, and I was so locked into like actually applying for these that I would literally go on TikTok and be like, how to get like the earliest LinkedIn post, like, for job apps. And then so I used to like edit the URL, and so then I edited the URL, and then I saw like, this company, like, they posted IT Business Analyst intern. And I was like, this is great. Like, I'll apply for this right now. And then I did. It was, like, I edited my resume, quickly sent it in, did some research. They ask you, what makes you so passionate about working at this company. And, I wrote a pretty solid paragraph about, again, like, how I want to be able to help people. And, whether like any type of way, like, this is genuinely like a passion of mine, where I do feel like I do have that knack for sort of helping people. So I did want to do that. And this is really good. Like, I don't have to like interact with the patients directly, like, because if you do that, then there's the whole emotional connection, and it's very, like, it's very emotionally like down and everything. But I'm able to do that. So then I wrote all of that, and then I got an interview about a month later, and the job offer 3 days later.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. You mentioned how there was a very like overwhelming almost period of time where you're
Yeah.
balancing the level up internship, the courses, and the additional projects, all while applying to this stuff.
Yeah.
It must have been very frustrating, right? And I don't think you're probably not alone. I'm sure a lot of people have felt that way. How did you break that barrier? How did you move past that?
Gonna be so honest, I didn't. I was so frustrated all the time. I tried to find different ways to de-stress. I think that that's very important. Um, but it was that constant state of like guilt where it's like everybody's doing something but you.
Mm.
So it's so hard to get out of. And I thought that the only way I could get out of it is once I got an internship offer. I had a very toxic mindset. um, don't do what I did, like, take a step back, relax, obviously. But there was no way that I could figure out how to balance that.
You just kept trying to learn more.
I just
Okay.
kept going. I just kept trying. I tried every day not to give up. And yeah,
And now you're here.
now I'm here.
Mm.
Yeah.
Speaking of here, it's been about 22 days for us since we started our internships here.
Yeah.
How was your first day?
First day was so good. I met so many new people. I, made some, new connections, met my team. They're great. I, yeah, got a computer, got a backpack.
Got a MacBook, by the way.
Got a
Wow, I got an HP.
MacBook.
IT people are on a different level, I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
but yeah, we got the Apple mouse. It's great,
Amazing.
backpack.
What's your day-to-day like?
My day to day is just, I go to some meetings, I attend some workshops, whether that be goal setting, whether that be, um, design thinking. Like, so I attend all of these workshops. I try to have some coffee chats. I like to meet with a lot of people. I like to socialize now. Everybody here is so nice. Like before, I used to just be like, what if I go to that person and they think I'm weird for just coming up to them? But everybody here is so nice.
Yeah.
So then, literally, my entire day just consists of like workshops, probably prepping for my future project, and then just talking to people. Yeah.
Awesome. For people that are maybe interested in this kind of line of work at a corporate pharma company, are there any skills, both soft and technical, that you think made you stand out?
Honestly, for technical, my like it is IT business analyst, yes. There's not a lot of coding as much as you'd think. Like
Mm.
there's some, I believe that we will be using SQL, but there's not a lot. But I do think that it is important that you are like a good storyteller. Like you are a good storyteller. I think that like everybody sort of has this quality, needs to be enhanced, because everybody does this, even as like kids, where you tell your parents something different in a different like the same thing, different context. You tell somebody else the same situation, different context. Like, you talk to people according to how much you know them. You change, like, you'll change your way of speaking, your way of behavior. Like, you're different with like how you're talking to different people, whether it be your professor, your friends, your family. So I feel like that's what business analyst is. Like if I'm talking to, like, stakeholders, which are business, that are the client, I'm going to be telling them something. I'm going to be telling them the same thing in sort of a different way, different jargon, different language. And if I talk to IT people, like people on my team, I'm going to be telling them the same thing but different jargon in more technological terms, because that's you have to be able to make that switch.
So personalized communication is very important in this
Yeah.
role. Okay. Let's check the mic again real quick. Yep. Okay, good. Amazing. And so overall, you've been here a month. It's been a pretty long, grueling
Yeah.
undergrad, a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah.
Say you could go back in time, 4 years back. You see young Hiteshwari, fresh, naive, about to enter undergrad in a biological science. What would you tell her?
I would tell her to just do your own thing. You don't have to copy everyone. Like you're your own person, and you should go according to your own timeline. And you shouldn't obviously rush. Like there's no reason why I wasn't like, I had a lot of time. Like I applied really early for university. I had so much time. So I had time to think about actually what I wanted to do, but I just wanted to hurry up, like ASAP. Like time was very important. Like I need to get this application in, I need to do this. And then again, like because I was copying everyone and I wasn't thinking for myself, like what do I really want to do? Like what are my skills and how can I apply them into, a specific course or like a specific university major. So I feel like that was really important for me to think about. And then also to just like don't worry about time so much. It goes by very fast, yes, but it's just like everything is supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen. Like all the time that I think about now that I've spent worrying, frustrating, like genuinely being frustrated and like irritated all the time and agitated all the time. And now I think about it because now I'm here. I genuinely think that that was not like genuinely a waste. Like I was worrying for absolutely no reason. Like it was if it was bound to happen now, it happened now. It didn't happen before. Sometimes it happens earlier for some people, but I guess I just wasn't one of those people and it happened later for me and I'm at a good place. I'm at a good company, and I'm happy.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Deshri, for joining us today on our first episode of this podcast series. And guys, like she said, things will work out. Don't stress too much. And no, every path isn't straight, it isn't linear. So what's important is, like she, focus on your passion, make a plan, try to stick to it, and don't stress out too much about what others are doing. Focus on your own interests. Wouldn't you say?
What part?
Would you agree?
I agree, 100%.
So yeah, with that, that will conclude our first episode of Off-Label Careers. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please just leave a comment on the video. If you want me to ask any other questions to Teshri, we can always reach out later. And yeah, like and subscribe if you're interested and want to see more videos of this type of content. So thank you again, guys, for joining me. This is Savitri Kanuri signing off.